guys, good morning to you. Jax and I just stopped off at this little Flying J's place here. We actually just got into Oregon. Jax is drinking water or something. So we're in Eastern Oregon right now. There's a train going by outside. So why not have some lunch here too while we're getting gas? I almost forgot that Oregon pumps your gas for you. So you just give them the key to your gas tank in your car and they do it all, and you just sit there and feel guilty. I don't know, I kind of like pumping my own gas, so it's no biggie. It's really windy outside, otherwise I would go outside because it's such a nice day, but it is incredibly windy outside, so I wouldn't be able to talk into the camera because you wouldn't be able to hear anything. Woke up this morning and for some reason pulled out my old razor and went all the way down. Remember the other day I used my trimmer and went down. This time I went, all the way down. And I don't know, I may go clean shaven for a week here just to try it out. It feels really good when the air's on it, and just something new. Why not? If I don't like it after a week, I'll grow the beard back. The short beard, Last night I stayed at a rest stop overnight here in Birth of the Van. I know I've talked about don't ever sleep at rest stops. You can rest at rest stops, but don't think you're going to lay your head down and sleep, and especially not overnight because with all the diesel engines and noise going on with truckers and everything. However, here's the thing. I pulled in there last night just to kind of go to the bathroom and kind of stretch, and it was really quiet on the passenger car side. Really quiet. And then I looked on the other side of the street, past that and saw the trucks, and I thought, this is way different. Now that I'm not in an RV, now that I'm in a van and I can park in the other parking lot here in a normal stall, it's really quiet over here. There's no diesel engines going and generators, going from motorhomes and stuff like that. So I slept like a baby last night at that truck stop. So I guess it really depends on what kind of vehicle you're in. If you're stuck in a vehicle that tows a trailer or a big long RV that has to go to the trucking side at a rest stop, it's unpleasant. Unpleasant to say the least. It's flat out frustrating. But I will sleep anytime at a rest stop. And rest stops are a great way to catch up on some sleep at any time of the day. You can even sleep during the daytime. Of course, you're going to hear more noises in the daytime. But the fact is, interstate freeway rest stops are meant for exactly that. Resting, going to bed, sleeping for 8 hours. Some of them have restrictions like limit your stay to 12 hours or 8 hours or something, but I have never in my life seen that enforced. There's no effort to enforce it. It's not like there are freeway rest stop parking meter maids that come and chalk your tires. It's just, don't abuse it. It's just like Walmart. Almost every Walmart you can stay in overnight. Why abuse it? Just stay there one night and leave in the morning, and there won't be any extra attention to you, and there'll never be a problem. So rest stops are back on my list in the van, as long as I don't have to be in an RV over by the truckers. It was awesome. It was perfect. I really liked that. Jax! Oh, big kitty wants to say hi. Oh, how you doing? Oh, man. How you doing, big guy? Yeah. All we have to do is open the side doors, let Jax out, and we get all this attention. Everybody wants to come rub your belly. You're a good conversation starter, Jax. And although I'm not in Washington State yet, I do have my Discover Pass. I had this mailed to me when I bought the registration for the van. There was another option on there. Would you also like to donate or buy all this fishing license and all this stuff? And the Discover Pass is one of them. And I'm like, yeah, I do need one of those. So I was going to talk a little bit about the Washington State Discover Pass because for someone who's only lived in Washington State, it's really odd to hear everybody in the country talking about BLM land. Why don't you utilize BLM land up there? Well, as I've said before, Washington does not have BLM land. There is no Bureau of Land Management by the government, the national government. There are like national parks in Washington State, but all of the free campground that other people would say that you have in other states is actually managed by the Department of Natural Resources of Washington State, or the DNR is what we call it. Now these are free campgrounds all across the state and state parks but most of the land is free to use, or at least it has been. And of course, Washington State has had lots of financial problems. A couple years ago, they shut down a whole bunch of these. They just quit. They just put gates up and said, you know, screw it. You don't want to pass all these tax levy stuff? We'll just close down all your parks. So that was frustrating for several years. And then they adopted it by opening up the Discover Pass option, which is a $35 a year pass that you put up on your rear view mirror, and that means that you can now, you know, legally go to all these free campgrounds and everything. $35 a year. That's nothing. I mean, that's absolutely nothing compared to what you get in return. And I think, you know, if you live there, everybody should just buy it because it's worth it, worth enjoying. Now, when I get back into the Olympia area, I'm going to start at Capitol Forest, and then I'm going to go to all of the other lands and just kind of experience all that Washington State has to offer, you know, all the green, and just really excited about that. Really excited about utilizing all these parks and stuff. So other than that, just kind of been driving and putting on miles. I have not had any major problems. The transmission absolutely goes into gear every single time now, so I don't know if we can blame it on the fluid consistency. It's just old fluid. The filter was too clogged. You know, I don't know what to. Obviously, I will keep an eye on anything related, and also leaks underneath. I will keep an eye on all that. But this van is just perfect. Absolutely, just a dream. Another really interesting fact, and something that I think is awesome, and I don't know if anybody else is going to share how unique this is, but I have traveled, it's like 7,200 miles, but really by the end it'll be closer to 7,500 miles that I have driven around this country in the last 6 months in both the RV and this van, from Washington State all the way down to Florida, and then all the way back up to the Midwest and back home. So 7,500 miles logged. I'm about 300 miles from my home. Well, about 350 miles from Olympia, Washington right now. I have not had a single problem parking anywhere in this country. Not a single time anywhere has anyone, business owner, security personnel, police officer, state patrol, highway patrol, never have I had any problems, any interaction with them at all. Also, considering all the miles I have put on, you know, on the road and behind the wheel, I mean, all the time I've spent behind the wheel, I have not gotten pulled over for anything, for having a blinker out, a headlight misaligned, speeding, any infraction. It's really remarkable when you think about how long this has been and how many miles I put on, and how relatively, I don't know, I'm just really, I'm really happy that I haven't run into any problems on that end. Of course, I've had my problems, my share of problems, and they've been incredibly stressful. And I'm thankful that I've made it back to the Northwest in one piece. Although I've grown stronger, and I've had to learn some hard lessons along the way. But it's not really how you get there, or when you get there, or even exactly where you get to. It's really just the journey in itself, and the fact that Jackson and I made it back in one piece. You just can't script it, is pretty much it. And one other thing, although I don't think the confusion spreads everywhere. You know, I do read my messages on YouTube and try to communicate with people there in my Google Plus account, and I almost always reply to anyone who gets back to me on Facebook, either leaving a comment, writing something on the wall there, or sending me a private message. I really try to get back with people, and if you've been following me, I don't understand the confusion. When I left in November, I said I'm hoping to get to Slab City, and finish my documentary and film down the coast and everything and get some interviews in Slab City. That was the goal. So anything else that people want to make up about the trip is purely just, I don't know where it's coming from. I never said anything, and people can go back and rewatch the videos. That was the reason why I left Olympia. That's why I sold my truck and left in the RV, and I said I was hoping to get to Slab City and then go back home. Period. That's it. Everything else that happened after that is just pure fate, and, well, it was exciting. I mean, it really was. It got me all the way up to Tennessee and then down to Florida for several months, and then the entire trip back in a different rig than I started in. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster ride, but I'm not going to be answering questions about why I'm not continuing on the road or why I'm going back home and quitting. I mean, I never said anything about quitting, and I never said I was going to be on the road for more than just a couple months and 1,200 miles. That's all I really said I was hoping to do, and look what I've seen instead. Just amazing. It's been an incredible ride, and again, I'm just a normal person, guys, so don't expect miracles from me and Jax. We are just living our life on the road, on wheels, experiencing as much as we can affordably, you know what I mean? So we're making it happen and sharing it as much of it as we can, but I also need my time to relax too, so that's why the videos aren't every single day anymore. They're not. They're 5 a week, or sometimes 2 in a row and then a day off, and who knows, maybe at some point I may really want to go deep into the forest and woods and camp and be off the grid and rely on solar and not make a video for 3 days. Don't be shocked. So, but I'm not leaving. The channel's not ending. I never said the channel was ending. I never said anything about going back to Washington State for any specific reason other than the fact that I missed Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these holidays with my family and friends, and that can wear on your heart and your soul, you know. So I mean, you know, that's kind of why I just want to regroup and have a little comfort zone to fix up some stuff on the van and get back out on the road again. You tired, buddy? Oh, what? You're not? You're wide awake? Good. That's great news, buddy. Want to say bye-bye? Say bye-bye. That was close. Can you say bye? Oh, kisses to the camera. Thanks. All right, guys. See you next time.